I want to start by introducing you to Mona Hardin, Ronald Green's mother. Mona, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough for having me, having my family here. This has been a long time coming, and it's much appreciated, and long overdue, I must say. We're going into the second year, and it seems like it was just yesterday. This terrific. It seems like it just happened.
Yes, ma'am.
2 years, almost 2 years ago.
Can you share with us your reflections on Ronnie's life and his death, and just give us an idea of how this has impacted your family, Miss Mona?
You know, with Ronnie, I go back to, Ronnie was 49 when they killed him. And my son will always be, my children are always my children. I don't care how old they are. They're always my kids. They're always little kids to me. And when they're around me, they always act that way, which is a good thing sometimes, most of the times. But all I can say is Ronnie was an awesome kid. He was always there. He was always present. He was always happy. He was a good big brother. He was oldest to the other four that I have. And he was always eager to just do big brother things. And he always catered to everyone. He was always giving, always loving, no matter what. And his childhood, he was in sports. He was doing everything that kids could do, including getting into kid trouble. But all that being said, the life, the happy life, the memories of everything that I can remember, the happiness, it can never feel the same. This murder that happened, that consists of 7 officers, it changed my family dynamics forever. He had cancer. And we thought that it was going to be cancer that would eventually take him. And all I can say is, with Ronnie, everything that we knew and the joy that we had, we could never go back and get that happiness again. We live life totally different. And just everything that we knew, the happiness, the gathering, it's always something missing because of how he died and why he died. And we still don't know. We still don't know why did they pursue him. I do know that it was a lie, it was a cover-up, and the state of Louisiana, state true theft, those 7 officers, and we haven't even seen, we just saw a smidget. When the state let us come in and watch that video by the dash cam, it was just a smidget, a small piece of what actually happened to Ronnie. And there's more to it. There's a bigger story to it, and the fact that it was a cover-up, and from the very, very the moment. I just can't believe this is the world that I know, and the fact that we're part of a statistic. And I've said that even to my therapist, it's like I have to treat thinking of Ronnie as part of being part of what's happening now, and now of my son, not as my son, in order to move forward and be productive in my thoughts and what I have to do in life. We've all become part of that, and it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same. And just knowing that on the level of cover-up, that me and my 2 daughters, my granddaughter, were there in Louisiana a total of 9 days, and not once did anyone come to us. Not once did anyone say, this is where we're at, we're doing this and that. they kept leading us to one direction, and there was nothing there. They tell us go get Ronnie's stuff at Glenwood Medical Center, and Glenwood Medical Center told us we had no record of your son being here. We were there an hour and a half, and it was just one dead end to the next to the next, and to to know that there were so many people that took part of the murder of my son, and how will this unfold? How do they live with themselves?
Yes.
The fact that this goes on, and it doesn't start with Ronnie, it doesn't end with Ronnie. And the fact that I'm looking at Aaron, and Aaron is able to tell it, to tell what he's endured, and the fact that he lived through it. It hurts me so to know he's hurting so, and he's injured in such a way that he has to endure that. I'm glad I have, we speak quite often, we stay in touch, and it helps me. Just knowing that he was able to live through what they did to him. But I do know that this thing with True Beth, it's evil. It's evil what goes on in Louisiana, and the depths of it, and the horrificness, and there's so many skeletons all over the place. And we really have a lot of work here. But I do know we can do it. I do know we can do it because we have good people behind us and moving forward with this. We have a lot of good people.
Yes, ma'am. Would you, and also Alana, if she would like to, just like to share with us what it has been like for you to try and grieve for your son and for your brother, for your family, while at the same time fighting for justice in this very public way? And Ms. Mona, if you care to answer and reflect on that, or Alana, if you want to reflect on that as well, we welcome you too.
Okay. I will say that there are times when Ronnie would get together, and he had a big thing about Facebook and all this, and I'm just so old school. I'm like, don't put me on Facebook. I don't want to do that. And now that I go back and I see all his memories, and a lot of it I'm not in there, and I could have. That shoulda, coulda moments, it comes up a lot. And the fact that you just can never go back. You just can never go back to reclaim anything. You have to go through your life as it is. And he was such a happy person. He was such, no matter what. Ronnie had issues at one time with drugs, and all I can say is when he went through that, he knew it wasn't part of him. He knew he had to lick that and get away from that, and he did it. You know, he had his ups and downs, and all I can say is his spirit to not being defeated was always there. His spirit to open a center up to help those that needs help, because he saw the unfairness that was being done to so many people of color. He was always trying to go to school to make a difference. He was amidst of doing so many things, and I wish that we could do it all over again, so people could actually see how Ronnie, what he had in him to give back to so many people. And those that knew him, know of him, know exactly where I'm at with this. His giving nature, his love of all, regardless of where you're at in life, was just remarkable. It was just remarkable. And forever miss his phone calls. He would always call and say, "Hey, Mama, I'm up. What are you doing up this early?" And he'd call me when we're going to work, 4:35 in the morning. And I missed it. I missed it. There's times I literally go to the phone, like, let me give Ronnie a call. I haven't accepted the fact that my boy is no longer here because we still like, oh, let me call him. Those instances still come up, and um, the whole family goes through that. The kids miss their big brother. You know, he was old school. He was giving. He was kind-hearted, and the way they did and continue to behave, this 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 law enforcement that the people pay into to turn around and kill and abuse people of color. They're getting paid with our tax dollars. We need to stop this. It's been going on it's been allowed to exist. And we need to change that from the top down.
Tell me what you think needs to change about the way we approach policing in America. How can we transform this system in a way that would be that would honor Ronnie's memory?
You know, the fact that the many phone calls I made, and I was trying to see what was going on, and the fact I went into month number 7 after May 2019. And I ended up talking to the FBI, and they said, well, we knew of Ronan's death, but no one ever told us to invest in it.
Investigate
It. And I was just floored, because all up until then, I'm talking to the assistant DA of Louisiana, Clifford Strider, and I had constant conversation with him. I was given names to the FBI, and then was told going into the 8th month that they were told to do that. And it's like, what do you do? What do you have to do to get this, to look at this and say, hey, you know, this is something not right here? Because Clifford Strider told us what happened here with your son is something that the FBI needs to take a look at. And so anyway, my point is, they misled me, and they were just basically trying to run the clock out on my year of statutory
statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
It was getting crazy as this clock kept ticking, and nobody was even caring. You know, I kept being, yes, ma'am, you called us. And I said, well, I'm calling you, but it's hard for me to get an answer back. And this kept going back and forth. This year, statute of limitations, that needs to change, because they're playing with the law. They just want to run the clock out themselves with that short period, or else there needs to be this so-called transparency. It needs to be, everything needs to be revamped to where the body and dash cam needs to be made available. There's a need to wear there, and there should be accountability on the officers who turn it off, or this thing I heard that this session, they don't have money in their budget for this. That's totally ridiculous. They'll use any excuse just to keep from holding themselves accountable.
Absolutely.
But then they go out there and they do all this, you know?
Had you had body cam footage of Ronnie's murder at the outset, the police, the Louisiana State Police, would not have been able to manufacture the tall tale and the very intricate set of lies that they concocted around his death, which they suggested that he was in a car accident. Was that right?
Yes.
And that he was actually killed in that car accident, but rather he was beaten to death and by a group of officers who participated and also narrated the beating and expressed their intent to murder him while they were doing it. And had you had that, there would have been no way that this could have gone on for over almost a year that it went on, and there would have been no way for the police to concoct this story of lies and basically just pulling things out of whole cloth. And so I really want to double click on what you've said about transparency with regard to body cam footage and accountability, because Louisiana, in particular the Louisiana State Police, are very well known for this kind of stonewalling and not turning over body cam footage, and that has created, I think, an environment of pathological deceit that really runs very deeply through the system and allows someone to completely make up a fabricated tale that they can take someone on this, and they can take someone on this journey and not be held accountable for it. And so I just want to thank you for allowing us to go over these very painful details with you. I want to say that, you know, your continued fight for justice, that we are actually here in community with you to continue that fight, and everything that you've said, everything that you've said with regard to transparency, accountability, body cam footage. It's still been 2 years. You saw a snip of a very small piece of the body cam footage. That is outrageous. Knowing what we know about this case, completely outrageous.
But you know what? I have to just slip this in real quick. The thing is, you have those higher up in those political seats have seen this. They've seen the body and the dash cams, and they continue to turn their backs on it. They continue to let my family, other families, go through hell, and they know it's wrong, and then they just completely try to squash it. They just continue to try to just hush it down. Yeah, we need to get things moving here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank